afternoon, everybody. My name is Chevelle Savage, and I am the board member for OutCT as well as the education chairperson. And this is episode number 4 of Who's in the Neighborhood. Today we will be talking and chatting with Juanita Austin. Juanita, so nice to see you and meet you. So tell me a little bit about yourself and are you from New London? Have you lived here all your life? Give me some insight.
Sure. So I am born and raised in London. I have lived here all my life besides the 5 years I was at college at UConn. And right after I graduated, I came back to my hometown and have been here since then.
So what did you study when you were at UConn?
I studied I studied everything. I changed my major about 10 times. Finally landed on digital media and design with a concentration in digital marketing and interactive media.
Okay. So I see that we're in your new place, right? Yes. And so you are also, tell me a little bit about Culture AF.
Sure. So Cultured AF is my artist collective organization that I started in January of 2019. So it kind of was born from this idea of me wanting to, one, start my own business, but also trying to share my love of arts and culture with my community. So that's kind of really where it started, of just this brand, this idea of how can I promote the arts and everything that's going on in New London. And from there, it kind of grew in unexpected ways. We ended up opening an art lounge and gallery called Cultured Studios back in April of last year. And that kind of became the hub of where we hosted our different events and programs, as well as just a community gathering and meeting space. So we're sitting now in Cultured Studios 2.0. So this is our second location that we're in, and it's a little bit different from the first, and we're really excited about what this new space is going to bring for us.
Why New London? Why bring a space like that to New London?
That was super important for me in starting my business. One, as I mentioned, I'm a London native, so that's where this is my home base, this is where my family, my community is from. But also, I really felt that New London needed a center, an art space that was centered for Black and queer folk. There's not any other space like that in London, and really in the southeastern Connecticut region. And I think that's why a lot of our programs and events were so successful within our first year, was because people were like, well, there's nothing like this, really in this area. A lot of times the sort of events and programs we did, you would find, in Hartford and New Haven, and we would have to travel or even to Bridgeport to go to those types of events. And so we were able to sort of bring that energy and vibe here right in London. I think people really enjoyed that.
Culture AF, tell me about the name.
So I studied, marketing and branding. So I wanted to start a business for probably a year before I actually did.
Okay.
And so I was really stuck on the branding, and I'm like, okay, I need something really catchy. I need something that not only, is our name of our business, but can, be a lifestyle, can be a brand for merch and all these kind of different things. And so I was stuck. I couldn't think of anything. And so I was talking texting with one of my male friends, shout out to Freddie. I was talking to him, and, I was trying to get my guy friends to come with me and my girlfriends to an art show, an art gallery, And so I'm like, you guys need some culture in your life. Come with us. And then he was like, I'm cultured as fuck. Cultured AF. And I was like, that's it. Literally, within the week of him sort of sparking that idea, I made the logo, I made our website, got the Facebook page up, and kind of just went running with that. It really captured the essence of what I wanted culture to be. I wanted it to signify, one, the art should not be pretentious. And I liked the vulgarity of the name that's kind of in your face. It signifies and goes back to sort of Ebonics and our roots, and not having to be politically correct or be, what's the word I'm looking for? Respectability politics. And especially within arts, there's a lot of that. So I really liked that the name kind of was just, going against everything of that. And that's really what I wanted the business to be. the organization to be, is bringing art and culture in a way that's accessible to people, that's welcoming everyone, especially allowing for a space where we're breaking down those walls and barriers of what an art space is, what art is, or who does art. So that was really important. And so thank you, Freddie, for that.
So I love the fact that when you said that you wanted to create a space that I guess is not intimidating when it comes to art.
Yes.
Because when I think of art, and sometimes like in past
Right.
memories, it has been pretentious, it has been
Right.
whitewashed,
Exactly.
it has been a certain way. So I love that Cultured AF has so many meanings around also showing up for Black and brown artists.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
so a lot of stuff that is showcased in Cultured AF is it from Black and brown artists?
Yes, it is. So that is, and we actually it was always in our mission, but we did our mission, philosophy, values, statements, and everything to be really explicitly clear that we are here to uplift, support, and promote Black artists and queer artists. That is our main target focus for what we do. So while we do have other collaborators and other people we work from different backgrounds, as long as they know that that is always going to be our core base, that is always going to be who's centered in our space, we're open to work with anyone, but we look for art that is by Black artists and performers and everything that we do. We want to give them the space because so often within the arts community, they're not given that space. Most, galleries, museums, the percentage of Black artists that are represented in those spaces, it's so low. So yeah, that they're always going to be the forefront of culture.
So there have been times when you hear, well, why is Black and brown only spaces necessary? And so, my paid job, I therapize for a living, so I hear that a lot. But so why is that? Why do you think it's so important? Because I'm sure you hear that as to why are you centering? Why is now I'm hearing your mission and your vision statement specifically saying we're here to support this particular demographic. Why is that so important in the art world?
Right. Even before we even get into the art world, just in our lives existing as Black or queer folk, we're always surrounded by whiteness. From schools that we may be into, our jobs and careers. So when we're going into our personal lives, into what we're looking for entertainment or just creative or safe spaces, sometimes we just don't want to be around white folk. And there's a lot of spaces, public spaces where, especially in New England, again, that's even now talking about a different space than if we're saying DC or in other areas. There's not a lot of public spaces where you see other brown folk, unless it's intentionally created. So if we're going to cafes, if we're going to bars, restaurants, other organizations or groups, a lot of times you don't see other people that look like you. So if you're going from work where you may be in a white-centered space and then you're going into trying your personal life and trying to find things that you enjoy, and then once again, you're centered around people that, don't look like you. And it's not just obviously about parents when we say that, it's about finding people to connect with you through your cultural backgrounds, through your experiences, people that can kind of share language, all those kind of things, come together. And so it's so super important to be able to center those spaces in our communities, because if that's not done intentionally, then they seem to not exist. So we have to be intentional about that, especially in New England. Again, I can go to DC, I can go to Chicago, Detroit, and easily be around other Black and brown people, but it's so much harder in New England to organically find those spaces.
So that's interesting when you say New England, because I'm originally from Virginia, and so lived there for 4 and 8 years of my life until my spouse got a job up here in Connecticut about 3 years ago, and so I migrated. So I really thought I was going to come up here and find all of the Black and brown queer wonderful folks, because we're in the North and in Richmond, Virginia, where I'm from is the South or whatever. But I really didn't find that, not in this particular area, like you said, New Haven, Richmond. It might be easier. Exactly. So definitely, I think Culture AF, the space that it provides, the safe haven it provides for folks just to be who they are,
Right.
not to have to code switch,
Exactly.
not to have to engage in respectability, politics, and all of those things. So yes, so this is beautiful. So are these some pieces from local artists?
So this piece is actually a piece that was already in the space and in the building. So not from one of our artists. This piece behind me is from an artist that I work with regularly. Their name is Jermaine, and they're actually based in the Norwalk area. So this was sort of like our staple piece that we had in Cultured Studios, the first space. And a piece that people loved, and we wanted to bring it over into the new space. And this is actually going to be my first major art purchase from an artist. So I decided to add this to my personal collection. So this will be with Cultured.
So you're just not talking the talk, you're walking the walk. You're also providing support for them to be able to showcase art, but you're also purchasing the art as well.
Absolutely.
So if someone wanted to actually be featured in Cultured AF Studios, how does that work? What would they need to do?
Sure. I'm really flexible with how I work with artists, so really they just have to contact me. So whether it's through email or through any of our social media pages, just connect with me, share your ideas, your visions, your art, and we can find some way to work with you with Cultured. A lot of our artists that we work with have just been through relationship building, people we've met through different events or programs or recommendations from other people that have connected with us. So we're always excited to meet new people and find new artists that want to work with us. And
relationship building is so important. That definitely cultivates a lot of ways in which people can engage. So tell me what you know about OutCT and any involvement or any programs that you know about it. How did you become engaged with us?
Sure. So I've been aware of OutCT probably maybe for the last year to maybe a little bit longer. I probably first heard about OutCT through a previous organization, nonprofit organization I was working with, just through some of our customers and people who came in. I believe with that organization we might have done some events with them, but still wasn't super involved, but aware. Began to meet more people that were part of the organization, such as Kia, Edward, Leon, and other people that have been involved with OutCT. So again, wasn't too involved personally myself, but started connecting with some people within the organization itself. My friend Erica has performed for Pride last year and is performing again this year. So we're super excited about that. And then when I went to the Trans Remembrance event that you guys had a couple weeks ago, such a beautifully laid out event. And then when you and Kia sort of announced your focus on making sure OutCT is centering Black queer folk and Black trans people, that's something that I felt really touched and inspired by, and kind of really was like, all right, I need to be even more so involved with this organization. So that was something that I was super grateful for. And acknowledging that intentionality for your organization.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I also kind of found my way through into OutCT basically by attending some of the programs and stuff. When I first got up here, folks may have heard me tell this story on camera before, but when I first got here, there was an announcement on Facebook. The Book of Faces is like what I like to call it, about New London Pride. And I was like, New London has a pride. I was like, it's more than like 2 Black people here. It's the pride. So anyway, anywho, I went and I was like, okay. And I remember I took a picture with the backdrop and all that, and I was just really impressed with how engaging and how affirming folks were. And so then the next year, which was last year, I came back and I volunteered in a youth group around supporting the young people around like hair care for natural hairstyles and stuff. And so from that, I decided that I wanted to be involved. And the fact that you go from that, and then I also went to a couple of happy hour events as well, and met Edwin and Constance and a lot of other folks. But then from that, to become a board member, and then witness the trans vigil, right? And witness the actual community outpouring and witness all of that.
Right.
And also hear the charge from the board president say, this is what we're going to do.
Right.
We're going to center Black and brown lives around our programming more intentional.
Right.
So I'm glad that that sparked you and wanted you to be involved. We have a couple of things coming up, and I'm going to do a shameless plug.
Never go
that we are going to be collaborating with Culturedaf. So we have a self-care panel doing our virtual Pride that is coming up the week of August 10th, and we're going to actually have a virtual Pride on August 15th. But on the 11th, we're having a self-care panel, radical self-care, and so you as well as 2 other community partners will actually be participating in that. So we're excited about that. And then also there's another event that we're going to be doing. We're going to be partnering with in October around bully prevention and open mic, and we're wanting to get involved with you around that. So I'm excited that you're excited about participating with us and getting more involved in the community. So tell us some great things that you have going on. Besides, first of all, 2.0, y'all can see what y'all don't know. Is I'm looking at like all of these group agreements and all of this great stuff on the walls. Wish you could see it. It's so fantastic. Wow. But anyway, so tell me what you have going on and our folks can attend or whatever.
Sure. We just had like a team meeting last night where we kind of laid out the next 2 months. So there's some really exciting things that are going to be coming up. One of our team members in Urban Nerd, or his name is Josh, is releasing his album EP next week.
Okay.
So we're super excited about that. There's going to be a concert at the end of August that we're going to be doing for Culture. So look forward to that. People will be really excited to know that Talk Your Shit, we're going to be doing the first live one that we haven't been able to do since March.
Yeah.
The first week of August. So we're going to do it outside, so it's safe.
Yeah.
But we're super excited about that. So that will be coming back, and we will also still live stream the event as well for people who aren't able to come out or don't feel it's safe to yet. We're working on some writing workshops. So in August, we will be having some open free writing workshops. And then in September, we will be starting a more structured writing program that Erica and Josh are doing the curriculum for right now. So we're really super excited about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We have a new live series called Art and Soul, which is the last...
I think I saw that on the gram of Insta.
Yeah. So that will be the last Wednesday of each month. So that's a live series where I'm bringing in a visual artist and a performing artist and just sitting down for informal chat with them and to talk about what's going on in their lives as artists and their projects, passions, and inspirations. So we just had the first one this past Wednesday. So we're super excited for that series and how that's going to transform and grow. And that's being hosted on our new website. It's still in production, but that new website is going to be an interactive media platform where I'm going to be curating, all of the sort of projects and media and news that's going on in the arts world within Connecticut. Highlighting Black, brown, and queer artists, as well as the site where we, as content creators for Culture, will be putting our content on there. And then it's going to be interactive, where it's going to have forums, chat rooms. You'll be able to create your own profile on there. So we're super excited about curating that digital space. So we have this physical space, that we'll be working in, but now with everything being even more online, even though we already were in a digital age, but even more so now, we're kind of really living in that digital space, creating this new platform where people can engage with culture and our community online in that way. I'm super excited about. So I'm looking forward to the official release of the website where you guys can see all the great content and artists that we have in Connecticut and all the things that they're working on, highlighting them.
That is awesome. You brought something up that I want to kind of touch on when you said COVID and the digital thing. So how has COVID affected you engaging with the community, it seems like it really hasn't affected it a lot. Like y'all have really like taken it to another level when it comes to some of the events. Has that affected people attending, or just give me some insight how you had to navigate?
Sure. So when everything sort of shut down and we realized we were going to have to start doing, more things online, it was really important for me, one, to do quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
So one, people are, can get Zoom fatigue and online fatigue from a lot of things. So I knew I didn't want to do just, go full steam and doing a bunch of events and putting everything online. So we were really careful about, picking and choosing when we wanted to do an online event. And we really wanted to make sure that we were trying to give the best experience possible with whatever we were doing online. So we did some of our virtual poetry and open mics, as well as collaborated with other content creators for their programs online. And they were all super successful. The turnout for those online events and programs was wonderful. And it was great to know that our community was still behind us and supported us, even as we were figuring out this new digital space that we were working on and live streaming events, because all of that was very new of how we could, create those spaces. So that was really encouraging from the community. And so now with all of that, we've been thinking about, how can we create even better online experiences. So with our new space, which is, we were calling it a creative suite, we really wanted a space where we can work as artists and content creators to produce those things for our community. So we have a music production and media production room at our new space. We're going to be investing in new equipment. So then that way we can continue to create a great digital experience for people with our content. So we're excited about that.
How important do you think, because it seems like you're very, like COVID has not affected you at all. As a matter of fact, it seems like it's kind of like made the organization even more visible, right? So how important do you, because I hear you talk about collaborations and things like that, how important are relationships and relationship building in this world?
It's super important in this world and a key component in our organization. Actually earlier in the year, even before COVID, when I was talking with my partner, we were talking about sort of what our vision and goals were for this year, and one of it was really collaborations and relationship building. We found within our first year that a lot of our base, our community, came from the relationships that we built. So going to other events, we would travel to New Haven and Bridgeport to go to different events, and that really helped build our community and our base. And we really wanted to continue doing that and being even more intentional with that this year. So again, that's why I was really excited that you reached out to me about collaborating with OutCT. I have so many ideas and plans for working with Writer's Block. Hopefully we're meeting Colton this week to talk about some things. Working with other individual artists, that's something that's really important for us just as content creators and artists, because it fuels us, it gets us to meet new people, share ideas, and that's how we grow and get better at what we're doing, as well as building our community and finding new people to engage with. I think that's really important in the art world. I was just talking with another artist about this on the Art and Soul series, when people ask about art buying and how that works. Still haven't figured it out, but one thing I really realized is that when people are able to connect personally with the artist, you're more likely going to be able to buy their art. And so I find that even with our business to, when we're doing relationship building outreach, just going to other people's events, not any real intention of networking, but going for genuine support, you're going to get genuine support back. And that's something we've realized and we want to continue to do, because one, that's the key component of our organization is uplifting other artists. So in order to do that, we have to be present in the community here in New London and across Connecticut.
Wow. And how long has Culture AF been in existence?
A year and a half. So we started, year and a half. We started January of 2019.
January of 2019, and you've expanded already. So definitely, I think relationships and relationship building is key. And it sounds like you are living the walk and talking the talk and all of the things. Tell our viewers how they can get in contact with you. Give like your Facebook, your Instagram, all of the things, website address, phone number, maybe not your phone number.
Sure. So you can find Cultured. Our tag is actually the same across Facebook, Instagram, and our website. It's Culturedaf.life. So that's across the board. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and our website. Our website will be the key place to find all of our content moving forward. So make sure you go there to check out all the great things that we're going to be offering, and sign up for our email list.
Thank you so much, Juanita, for taking time on this very hot Saturday to chat with us and for folks to get to know who is in our neighborhood, right? So listen, y'all have heard it. We are doing all the great things here. In New London, we got Culture AF. You can get cultured as fuck, right?
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom. So at the end of the day, who's in the neighborhood? Number 4, we love you. We will see you soon. Bye, y'all.